they're talking about terror. Literally, he uses the word terror. If you've ever been in a relationship with somebody that is unpredictable and emotionally unstable, terror is the thing that you're actually thinking. And by the way, you never want to promote that person. That is the person who you're saying to yourself, I don't want them in control of that important button. 99% of the time, this is a horrific idea.
Welcome back to Duran on Demand. Today we're covering laws,
17, 18, and 19.
17, 18, and 19. We've just gone over 14 through 16.
Law number 1, know the laws you're covering.
Exactly. We just went over laws 14 through 16, so now we're going over 17 through 19. The series, again, is available here on Duran on Demand. So let's continue with law number 17.
All right, law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit who look for familiar patterns in the behaviors of others. By acting unpredictably, your opponents will tire themselves out by trying to predict and analyze your moves. This means occasionally striking without warning. When you act predictably, you give others power over you. If you act surprisingly, they will feel that they don't understand you and will be intimidated. Similarly, if you find yourself the underdog, using a strategy of unpredictable moves, can confuse your enemies into making a tactical blunder. Okay. This actually can be pretty good in sports. If you're playing against an opponent, you're doing that sort of thing. It can work fine in warfare again, but in everyday life, it's horrible. It's especially horrible as a leader. If I were to teach somebody how to be the worst leader on planet Earth, I would teach them to be unpredictable. But predictability in family relationships, how would my dad react to that? Okay. If he's unpredictable, your relationship's going to be bad with him and you're not going to want to be around him. How would my boss react to that? How would my employee react to that? How would my partner react to that? They would not like that circumstance. They would like this circumstance. Those things matter. Stability matters. And they're talking about terror. Literally, he uses the word terror. If you've ever been in a relationship with somebody that is unpredictable and emotionally unstable, terror is the thing that you're actually thinking. And by the way, you never want to promote that person. That is the person who you're saying to yourself, I don't want them in control of that important button. So this is very much the type of thing that if you used in a tiny little circumstance, like for example, warfare as a matter of like, psychological warfare and strategy, or, it's basically like, a different move in football. Okay, what play are they going to run? Yeah, good for that. But 99% of the time, this is a horrific idea. So it's thumbs down with if I had like 100 thumbs that I could show, I'd have 99 down and I'd have 1 up. Okay? Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. If you decide to isolate yourself from your enemies and the world at large, you cut yourself off from valuable information. This makes you vulnerable to attack. It's always better to mingle amongst people, as you are better protected in a crowd. Because humans are social creatures, power comes with social interaction. Therefore, to become powerful, you must place yourself in the center of things. Activities should revolve around you. Resist the urge to retreat when things feel uncertain. Instead of turning inward, focus on seeking out old allies and forcing yourself into new social circumstances or circles. This is kind of true. There's no doubt about it that if you build a fortress to protect yourself and you're in isolation, it can lead to all sorts of, it's led too many men in today's current day and age to actual despair. The reason why he's doing it is a little different. He's talking about being vulnerable to attacks and whatnot. The interesting thing is that it is cowardice that makes people run and isolate themselves. They are afraid of attacks. The irony is that you are more vulnerable to attacks when you isolate yourself than you are if you actually are building friendships and community and being social. So this is one of those kind of relatively benign ones. You use it the wrong way, it's a down. You use it most of the ways you're talking about, it's a thumbs up. Are you using it to manipulate and overpower other people, then it's a bad thing. But if you're like, hey, you know what? It makes sense to be out there amongst the people and to interact in order to establish and leverage your influence and authority. Yeah, it's a good thing. 19, know who you're dealing with. Don't offend the wrong person. Choose your opponents wisely. There are some people that once defeated will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. That is true. It's really crazy. There are some small-minded, petty people there who just can't let go. That's just true. Consequently, it pays not to offend the wrong person. The skill of correctly measuring people is the most important with regard to getting and maintaining power. Be sure to know everything about a person before you work with them. Again, he always brings things back to, and of course it is the 48 laws of power, but like power as though it's like this unbelievably necessary thing to have. Now, at the same time, I always tell people, you don't want to be powerless in life, but there's a difference between being power hungry and having a certain amount of appropriate power. However, don't rely on your instincts to get an understanding of a person, and never trust appearances. Watch your target over a long period of time and get a truer picture of their nature. Now, I think that he intentionally uses words like target. I think it stirs up the controversy that he's looking for in the book in order to sell it. I would say subject is a better word than target. I would say in an overall sense, this is very true. You don't want to anger the wrong people because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you, when you could quell a circumstance, create strife? One of the things that's funny about this, though, is that even though he's saying, know who you're dealing with, don't offend the wrong person, he spends most of his book teaching you how to be offensive. So, you'd better be, if you're going to be who he wants you to be by following the 48 laws of power, and he may not want it. He's actually said that you'd be hard to live with if you followed all his advice, Robert Greene, that is. But you would have to be so exceptionally good at Law 19 in order to follow the rest of his entirely highly offensive book in order to pull that off. So that's 17, 18, and 19.
That's good. Join us for the next set of rules here, laws rather, next week, as we uncover the truths and perhaps the lies or the misconceptions of the 48 laws of power here on Durand On Demand. We'll see you next week.
Hey there, Giant. Thanks for watching Durand On Demand. I need your help with something. The world desperately needs more Giants. You know it, and I know it. We've been around a lot of people struggling, figuring out how to make things go. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this with as many people as you can. We're going to build this audience, and we're going to help people slay dragons together.